Noble here. Welcome to another stream. This is just one of those kind of like a random stream. So if you don't sort of know how the channel works, I do like almost like the kind of like gig reviews, but they're a little bit different. So what I'll do is I'll do like a video stroke a stream, and I'll announce like where I'm gigging next, and then sort of if I'm at the gig, while I'm at the gig, I'll try and get footage of the gig. So I'll get like videos of me playing. I'll try and document the gig, and then sort of after the gig, I'll do like another live, and I'll talk about how the gig went, and just sort of genuinely do a little bit of an aftermath on how the gig went. However, if there's weekends and I don't have a gig, and I do something quite interesting, so say if I like still hit up events and things, or I just do something genuinely quite interesting that sort of is a bit more better than just sat at home. I had a mix at home. Then I'll do like a little side sort of series called This Weekend's Antics, and um, yeah, I just talk about a little bit about what's happened over the weekend, if I've been anywhere, sort of what the events have been like, and stuff like that. And this weekend's been a little bit of a hectic stroke, a tired weekend. A lot of raving and stuff like that has consumed and taken place. So on Friday, I hit up an event called Frantic. Now, you might remember that event because I played at that event on the 16th of December when they had a DJ essentially that pulled out. I stepped in and played for them. They put their next event on, and they put some great people on the lineup, such as Healy, a new upcoming bounce DJ called Anna Mack, and they also put Lowy on. They put my good friend Top Vibe on as well, from Bounce to Your Drop, and just in general put a little night on. So I was always sort of intending to go to this night because people book me and stuff, and I'm a big believer in it's not just about getting booked yourself. Like they put me on because the DJ pulled out essentially, and they said, look, do you want to set Noble? But I think it's always good to go and support the brands as well, and just because you don't play, doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, they haven't booked me. Let's not go to this one. I'm a big believer in supporting brands, and there's a lot of people I get along with that was on the lineup, and a lot of people that genuinely go to these events that again I get along with them. So I always intended that I was gonna obviously hit up this event, which took place on Friday. So spoke to Lehman about it. Like I'm thinking of going, and he was a little bit unsure whether he was going to come or not. And then in the end, we decided we're going to hit this event up. And then we picked another friend of ours up on the way from Grimsby, which was kind of like a last minute thing for me. I didn't know this was happening, and then it was, and it was nice to pick him up and have a little bit of a laugh and banter on the way. And then we hit up the event, and the event was just it was just a pure laugh. There was people that were just absolutely buzzed to see us. And if anything about this going to this event like really blew me away, it was just the amount of like love and support that I was getting off people, and people that was like just like asking how I was doing, and where am I gigging next, and people like, oh, I love what you do, and keep up what you're doing. And then there was even people like, what time are you on? And I'm thinking, I'm not booked today, mate. And they're like, oh, what? Oh, gutted. And people like, oh, when you're gonna go and grab the mic and stuff, and I'm thinking like, you know, I'm like obviously I'm not booked, so I can't just go behind the decks and play a set. And I didn't grab the mic. I suppose I could have done. There was like some other people that grabbed the mic that weren't booked, but again, I'm one of these people. Like, if they don't mind me grabbing the mic, like then I'll grab it. Like if they're like, yeah, you can grab the mic, Noble. But I'm not one of these people who just think, right, you know, I've gigged here once, I can just walk in, I can just grab the mic and rah rah rah, you know. I like to be respectful, and you know they put various MCs on for, you know, for various reasons, you know, and I believe that, you know, if you're not booked, it's not rightly your place to do it. But like, you know, if they have a sort of like a free set going, or sometimes if the, you know, the MC sort of like sets go, you know, little bit to pot or something, or you know, for whatever reason, you know, another MC turns up late, and then someone else ends up sort of you know, taking over, doing that other guy's sort of set for so long until he turns up, and then the guy who turns up, he, you know, and people just always get a little bit, you know, busy and hectic, and then sometimes the MCs themselves like just sometimes go back to back with each other. So sometimes, you know, there is opportunities for people to, you know, to grab the mic, but like I say, I don't push for it. I don't, you know, go there thinking I can do it. I'm gonna grab the mic, and I certainly don't just go and grab the mic and, you know, beg for a go. Like if people sort of say, yeah, you can have a go, then by all means I'll have a go, and I you know, and I'll enjoy it. But you know, I just think there's a like a time, and I just think, you know, being respectful to the brand is like a good thing. But loads of people was like, you know, you're going on the mic and no, sorry, I'm not booked, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go tell them that you should get on the mic. And I mean, some of them had a little bit to drink, so I just kind of swiftly left and just sort of walked back, you know, because they've had a bit of a drink, so they see the next face, and then they're thinking about something else within a couple of seconds. Do you know what I mean? You know, and then you see him again a bit later on, and oh, hi, are you on the mic tonight? No, I'm not booked. Oh, I'm gonna go tell him again. You know, like someone with dementia in it, but no, it was an enjoyable night. There was a little issue that wasn't anything to do with me, but it was a little bit of a not so good thing that happened, and sadly there was a little bit of a fight that broke out outside, and sadly a bouncer sadly did get injured, actually quite badly, to the point where an ambulance and all that came. I was inside. I didn't see anything happen. Few people that were outside did sort of witness it happen, but they kind of tried to kind of like discreetly. You know, people inside didn't really know it was going on. People outside sort of had an idea, and it was a little bit of a stressful time, definitely for the brand, and people had to sort of come in, and then people couldn't go outside there to smoke because there's a guy laid out on the floor, and you know, not the best situation, but unfortunately, you know, it happened, and you know, it went down. So I don't really fully know what happened since. I do believe that the bouncer guy is actually all right, and he's, you know, he's got back out of he's come out of hospital and stuff, and he seems to be back on his feet. Just looks a little worse for wear, I think. But yeah, so it was a little bit of a letdown in that sense. You know, little bit of an issue, and you know, that just wasn't needed, but sadly happened. I don't know what caused it. I don't know what started it. I don't know, you know, like I say, what instigated it. I just know that I went outside to get some air, and there's a dude laid out on the floor. I didn't even know he was a bouncer at first. And next minute they're telling everybody to get inside. At first, I didn't even know if it was to do with anything that had gone on at the night here, and if it was just something that had broke out on the street in itself. But sadly, it was a doorman that was working, that was working on this night, sadly. And it was, it was just one of them things. So that night sort of wrapped up. We got back in the car, drove our other friend back to Grimsby, and then finally got home. Well, we got home quite early-ish, actually. It wasn't too late, because we didn't leave there all that late. So I think it was probably about going like 2, 2:30 or something, which is quite early. Sometimes we're coming in at like 5, even sometimes 6 o'clock. So the following day, obviously Saturday, there was an event on at the Doncaster warehouse, and it was a pay what you want event. And essentially the rate they just basically put some cheap tickets on. I think the tickets were something like £2, and then they went up to £3. And then there was a little door price that was a little bit more, that I think went up to about a fiver. So I think it was something like a fiver on the door, which again you can't really grumble. And they just put some like local up and comers on in the warehouse. Essentially, there was no like really what you'd call like big headliners. There was no like Andy Whitby or Scott Brown. It was just sort of like up and comers that sort of, they're doing quite well, but they just don't always get that opportunity and that chance to, to like play the main stage and stuff. And it was just a chance for a few different faces who don't always get on at these brands to just sort of a little bit of a nudge and say, listen, you can play a set. And it was a really enjoyable night, actually. It wasn't the busiest I've seen the warehouse, do not get me wrong. But it was, nevertheless, it was a shed load of fun. And again, it was seeing friends and seeing people that the vibe and the music was on point. And all the DJs smashed their set. But I have got when it comes to DJs and when it comes to smashing sets, there's two people on the night that impressed me with their sets, like really impressed me. And the first guy was Richie P. Rich Pinder, who would also sort of help put this night on. He played he played a bounce. He played a bounce set. He's a bounce DJ, and he just played some really good donk tunes. Actually, he played 2 tracks that I like. I'd love them. I'd love to have them. The first one was a remix of Alex Guardino, Destination Unknown, and I think someone must have done a donk over, because there's a Pacific house remix of the Alex Guardino. It's quite a rare one, and I luckily enough have it on a CD somewhere. I think I've got it on my PC as well. I ripped it off the CD, and it's a really good version, actually. And it's this donk version's kind of like a remix struck a donk version, donk over of that remix, and he started off with it. And honestly, like when I first heard it, I thought, hang on a second, is he gonna play a house tune? Is he gonna play a house set? Because it really did start off like the original one does. And at first, when it just first comes in, and there's no kicks and stuff, it just comes in with like a bow 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 wow wow. So I'm thinking like, wait, is this a donk set, or is this a house set? Just for that sort of like first few seconds, and then you realise, yeah, this is a bounce set. And it was a powerful bounce set with loads of great tunes in. And I just enjoyed it. I just had fun. Really enjoyed it. And then the second DJ that for me this was the set of the night, and it was Tyndall. So Tyndall came on and played a hardcore set. And Tyndall does play bounce. He plays bounce and hardcore. So he's doing a hardcore set here. And I don't know. There was just something about the set, and the set just went off. and at one point it filled the dance floor, and loads of people was just absolutely going for it. Some of the drops and some of the tunes he was playing was just unbelievable. The mixing was just second to none. It was almost in some sense like you didn't hear the next tune coming in, because it just sounded like all the levels were just so and it just blended together so nicely, and then like these fat drops just came in, and sometimes when a drop comes in and you can't just go mad on the drop because it comes in that heavy, and just like blows you away that much that you just kind of you sit there and well you stand there and you think like, you filthy little bastard. Like, you sit there and you think, you're getting naughty here. And you've got these real proper, honestly, you've got these drops coming in, and they just blow you away. And the whole set was just great. It was like a mixture of some of his own production. There was a mixture of some like newer sort of hardcore and power stomp, and then there was a few like older sort of like sort of like newer and sort of like old hardcore in there, and a couple of absolute belters, and just in general, just was a really strong set. That if he doesn't get like anything sort of like coming off the back of that, then people are daft, because it really was a good set. And MC Dowling was on the mic for him, and Dowling seemed to work the set really well as well. Just seemed to go with the set really well. Because I hate it when like MCs, like, I know you can't always have it, like sometimes you get paired up with an MC you've not worked with before, but when an MC doesn't really know the music, and you kind of feel like you're sort of like pussyfooting around each other, and you've got the MC sort of like not really knowing some of the tunes, and then you've got and then you've got the MC sort of like babbling over like sections of the tune where you shouldn't really be babbling over. Which in some sense isn't necessarily the DJ's fault, because as a DJ, you're booked there to play a set, put a hardcore set together, so you put one together, and essentially you can't just go off the idea of, oh yeah, blah blah blah, play what the MC wants. So just give me 2 seconds. Whew. Oh, pardon. My absolute apologies on that. Sometimes, when the toilet just calls, and yeah, it just sometimes, when they come on just all of a sudden, that was kind of what had just happened. It was, I actually really need to go. So yeah, so Tyndall, he played an amazing set. He really did. And then Owen NRG followed. If you've not, what can I say? If you've not checked out Owen NRG and you've not followed him, he's killing it right now. Not gonna lie, he's killing it. And he's an up and coming bounce DJ who's quite young. His dad's a DJ. They duo with their dad, called Double DNA. And all I can say is on a proper note, is he smashes it, and he's done really well for himself. He's played on quite some big lineups. He's become quite what can I say? He's become quite like a little sort of like local legend in the Doncaster warehouse, and absolutely smashing sets. He's been booked for the Sopranos in Amsterdam. He's um, he's been booked to like play at like Pure in Wigan, which is like a really big nightclub for bounce in the UK. And you play there. You're on quite like a mega sort of like bounce gig if you do that there. And yeah, he just smashes it. So he played the final set of the night. I didn't catch much of the set because sadly we said our goodbyes and sort of left. But he did. From what I heard from when he took over from Tyndall, he did play a really nice set. To be honest with you, he played some absolute belters, which was good. So I was buzzed about that, and yeah, he just played some good tunes. But like I say, I didn't catch like the full amount of the set. To be fair, because obviously we was leaving. So yeah, so we went home, got a bit of food, drove home, and got quite late by this point because this event finished at 3, and we left about 2:15. Or something like that, and then we got food. So by the time you've sort of said goodbye to everybody, and you've sort of like hugged people, and then we always, out of respect, we big up the doorman and say thank you, thanks for having us, and little sort of like kiosk when you go in, if you like, where you'd like show a ticket or like pay on the door. If there's like people in there, like the people who put the event on, we always just sort of like say like, oh, thank you, cheers for having us, see you at the next one, or whatever's next, that kind of thing. And then by the time you've got drove to the Mackies and stuff, 15 minutes, nearly half an hour's gone there, and then it's like 2:45 and the thing finished at 3 anyway. So then by the time you've sat and eaten, the event's obviously finished, and then you get drove home. um it gets quite late. It gets like sort of like 4, half 4 in the morning. You get in. You get sort of ready for bed. You get laid in bed. Just sort of have one last check of your phone. Because you're not always on your phone when you're at raves. Checking messages and stuff, and browsing Facebook. So you just have a quick browse, and then before you know it, it's like 5 in the morning, and then you get your head down. Some people can't sleep, when they come back from a rave, like, because obviously, like me and the layman, we don't drink, we don't take drugs, so we keep it quiet, we keep it sober, we about the most we'll have is an energy drink, like a can of Red Bull or something. And then we'll eat, and sometimes like layman, he can't get to sleep. He's like, once he's drove back, and the drive sort of woke him up a bit. Because we sit and have food, and we get quite tired, and we get chilled out, and the heating's on in the car, and then he'll drive back, and it'll sort of wake him up, and then by the time he gets home, like he can't go to sleep. But me, I don't seem to have that issue. Like me, I can just sort of go into bed, and I can just sort of get my head down if I feel quite tired. And sometimes I won't wake up for hours, and he'll like sometimes doze off for a bit and wake up in a couple of hours. And there's me, like, I won't wake up till like dinner time. There was one time I didn't wake up till like 4 in the afternoon, which was absolutely crazy. um I can't even remember, but all I know is like half the day went, and I'm thinking like, oh my god. And it was a Saturday as well, and I'd slept in until till like 4 or something. um it was crazy. I don't think it was anywhere on the Saturday night. I can't honestly, on a real note, I can't actually remember what had happened. But I just know I think we'd been somewhere on the Friday. We'd had quite a late night, And then we just obviously I'd just come back, and by the time I'd gotten to sleep and stuff, and for some reason I just ended up sleeping in, and I woke up. It was crazy. But yeah, so it's been a pretty cool weekend. Really enjoyable. So next up for me is the Doncaster Warehouse. It's for a private birthday party, and I got told yesterday, because it's only something private, don't plug it as much. Apparently, we weren't supposed to share it like an event. And I didn't, and I sort of basically shared it like it was an event. But I did tell people that it was a private party. I did inform people that I did inform people that it would, that it would be a private, it's just a private party thing. Not that really anybody asked me like if they could come, but people was just like, oh, big ups, do you know what I mean? But I just said, like, it was still a gig for me, really. You're playing I'm still essentially booked to DJ somewhere, so I did announce it as a gig, but I did like share the flyer a couple of times, like obviously I did a little big ups to everybody last weekend at the gigs where I played. This is where I'm gigging next, but it is a private thing. And my cover picture is, as a matter of fact, it is the artwork for that private party as well. But I only do it to let people know where I am, and just to update people that follow me as an artist. It wasn't as such to plug and promote their event. Like, I mean, at first it was a little bit, before I sort of realised, oh, we're not actually meant to do it. But I do it for my own benefits as well. So people just see me as an active artist, and they see where I'm playing next. But I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm on a B2B set. I will be streaming about it again. I'll do like today is the day, and I'll do the aftermath of it, and videos and stuff I'll definitely put up, and stuff like that. But yeah, banging weekend. Good vibes, good people, good to see everyone. Make sure to like, comment, share. Peace. Boom.